Welcome, you guys, and welcome back to the Mukbang Entertainment Headquarters. I'm your host, Jessica Marie, and today I'm going to have a seafood boil. We've got 6 lobster tails here. We've got some sausage, potato, some eggs, and some corn. We've also got this amazing butter sauce that I made. And I'm not a big butter sauce maker, but I made some today and it tastes very good. So I'm very excited to get into this food. And the movie that we're going to be watching today is Child's Play. It's the old school one that came out in 1988. If you guys don't know, I was raised in the 90s. So this is one of those films that, was pretty creepy when you were younger. And if you haven't seen the original Child's Play, because I know they've come out with a few, you should definitely check it out because it's very good. Right now it is on Netflix. And there's a lot of good movies right now on Netflix. So definitely go check it out. I know a lot of you guys have Netflix. I know it can get real busy in your work day. And sometimes you can't get to a movie. But here we watch movies, we watch entertainment, and then we sit and we eat and we review and we just talk about the film that we saw. Because who doesn't like watching movies? So today I've got my mug here, as you guys can see, and I'm drinking a blue raspberry cherry Powerade. I'm a big Powerade lover. I like it more than Gatorade, to be honest. It just has a different taste. So we're gonna pour this. And if you guys like, I don't know if you've noticed the theme, but any drink that happens to be blue, I know it's probably gonna be good. Just a little hint. Okay, so let me try a potato. Because, oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Um, okay. That was good. That was beyond, I don't even know how to describe it. So we're doing Child's Play today. The main cast of Child's Play is, I got my phone here. Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, and Alex Vincent, who plays the son. So the movie starts off with, I guess there's some kind of robbery going down. And so they're escaping this robbery. That's good. And there's 2 guys. Let's try a lobster tail. And there's these 2 guys. And they're robbing the place. And the police are after them while they're in the midst of robbing. And the guy just, one of the men leaves the other guy stranded. He leaves him stranded and he drives off, and the other guy is basically stuck out there with the popos trying to get him. So the other guy's trying to survive. The police officer, he's like, give it up. Um, you know, you're caught. Says the shell. Trying to make sure I didn't leave no meat. And he's like, give it up, you're caught. Oh, this looks so good. Let's take this little part off. I think it's probably nothing, but so this is a piece. So let's try a lobster tail. Oh my god. That looks so good. Wow. That's good. Mm. Okay. Okay. So the man runs into a toy store. He breaks in, runs in there. Oh my god. Wow. The man ends up getting shot by the police. And when that happens, stir it from now. It's good. So the man gets shot by the police. He swears, "I'm gonna get you." The man, I guess the man who left him there stranded, and the police officer who shot him because he basically had a fatal wound. So he's like, "I'm dying." So basically, he grabs a Chucky doll and because he's like, "I need a body." Do another potato. So he grabs the Chucky doll and basically starts doing this, saying this like voodoo spell. He is trying to transfer himself, I guess, into the doll. While he's saying this spell, the clouds are building up all above the building, and then the whole building kind of explodes. So, do a sausage. Mm, that's good. The sausages are spicy. Um, so the building explodes. Then we fast forward to a young little boy. He's watching the commercial on TV for the good guy doll, because that's what that man, the thief or whatever he was, killer. I think he was a killer. That's what he put his soul into, was one of those dolls. So the little boy, he's watching the commercial for the good guy doll, and he's like, he wants a doll. So he's making breakfast for his mom, making a mess, of course, in the kitchen. Let's try some corn. So he goes to his mom's room and she makes breakfast. And he's making his mother breakfast in bed, which I think is so cute. Um, mm, wow. So they come to find that it gets in your teeth. That it's his birthday. So he's like, "Can we open my gifts?" You know. So he runs and opens his gifts. First, he's got like some clothes. And he don't really want no clothes. He wants some toys. So she gets him a toy, but it's like a good guy kit, like something you. Mhm. That's done. Wow. Whew. So it's like a good guy kit. It's like something you would use with your good guy toy. So he was like, I wanted a good guy. And she was like, I know. She said, but I didn't find out to be able to save up for your toy until too late. And so he's disappointed. But, you know, what can you do? If your mom can't get it, then. So fast forward, we go to her at work. And she's at work, and her coworker's like, there's this man in the alley who is selling a good guy toy. So if you really want to get this toy, this doll for Andy, you might want to come out and check it out. And so she's like, well, I'm at work. And she's like, girl, you better get your butt out here if you really want to get this toy for him. And just, I don't know, make up an excuse to why you wasn't at your post. So she goes outside. It's a toy she wants. The toy is going for $100. She gets it for $30, which is an excellent steal. Yeah, another lobster. It looks so good. I'm trying to see if you guys can see it. Mm, okay. Mm. Oh my god. That's good. So basically, she gets a toy, and then her boss tells her she has to stay late. And she's like, well, I can't have to pick up my son. And then he's like, well, you can leave at 5, but you got to be back by, 7. And she's like, it looks so good. Mm. So her friend's like, I'll watch your son. So she goes home, picks him up from school, and she gives him the toy. And he opens it, and he's just so happy, so excited. And the mom is like, well, I gotta go back to work. but her friend was there to watch the son. So he's playing with his toy, having fun with it. And the mom's friend, I think her name was Maggie. Maggie tells him it's time to go to bed. It's 9 o'clock. It's that time. And Andy tells her that. Ooh, excuse me. Andy tells her that his toy wants to stay up to see the news, and she's like, well, she's like, okay, your toy wants to stay up and watch the news. So she's like, go to bed. It's time for bed. So she takes the boy, Andy, and his doll to the bed to go to sleep. And so while he's supposed to be sleeping, the doll is up trying to watch the news. And so she blames Andy for that. And he's like, I didn't put him out there. And she's like, okay, stop lying. You did that. And he's like, no, I really didn't. But how many people are going to believe a child when they say they didn't do something like that? Of course you're going to think the child did, and he's just fibbing. So basically, the boy goes to bed, and then the toy comes out and is sneaking around the house. The lady, Maggie, she feels like she senses someone walking about, but she doesn't see him. Finally, she is in the kitchen area, and something hits her in the face with a hammer, and she flies out the kitchen window. This is so good. It's like, it's so rich and flavorful that you get, I don't know if you guys get like that, but you get full faster. So it is very flavorful. I may want to slow up on the potatoes because that is filling me up. But they're good. But anyway, she falls out the window. The police come. Mom comes home from work, runs in the house. She's searching all over for her son. She finds him. The police let her know what took place in her house. And this is the same police officer that was chasing the killer in the beginning of the film, the one who put his spirit in the doll. So, it's really good. So, basically, they basically hint that they're suspecting her son to have done this. And she's like, my son did not do this. What are you talking about? And they were like, well, no one else was here. We're checking the little footprints because there were little footprints on the kitchen counter. And they were like, well, we're checking the footprints to see who it belongs to. And they said it didn't belong to any shoes in the son's room, which, offended the mother. Okay. Let's see what this. The eggs are good. They're good. I've been hearing how great they are in the boil. They're pretty good. So the mom's offended. They're like looking at her son as a suspect. So After that, um, everybody leaves her house, and the son starts saying, the doll said that Aunt Maggie was a bee, and she was rude and all this stuff. And she was like, "Why are you saying this, Andy? Why would you have such a filthy thing to say?" And she was getting really upset. And he was like, "Are you upset because of what happened today?" And she was like, "I probably am." And so he was sorry. And so he, told his mother, "I'll stop." Which I thought was very sweet because he wasn't trying to be, he wasn't trying to be that way. He was just telling his truth. So after that, the mom um, ends up talking to the boy. Actually, ends up going to this abandoned house. He ditches school. The mom takes him to school, but he ditches. Mind you, he has Chucky with him, the doll. He ditches school and goes to this abandoned house. Now, when the boy arrives at the house, before he fully gets there, he's like, "I have to go to the bathroom real quick." So he puts the doll down and goes to the bathroom. When he does that, the doll gets up, runs to the house, and there's a man in there. And this is the man that did the robbery with him and who left him and drove away instead of waiting for him. So the man was in the house. So the man hears noises, and so he gets up. He's going downstairs. He's looking around like, what's going on in here. And the man notices that there's a kid outside, which is Andy, and he's walking around looking for this doll. And basically, the doll basically turns off the pilot and just lets the gas fill up in the house. And the man is walking around looking for this noise with a gun. Oh, trying to burp, but it's not coming up. So he's looking through the house, and the house blows up because the doll blows it up basically with all the gas flowing through the home. So the whole house blows up, and so the mom is called by the police to come to the police station. And they were like, "Have you picked up your son? Have you went to the school?" She was like, "No, I came straight away here because you called me." And so she arrives there, and they're like, "Okay, we're about to take your son in," because the son gets taken in based on this explosion that happened in this house, and he was caught there with the doll. And so they're basically saying, "Okay, your son might be violent. He might be a killer. You may want. We're gonna have to possibly take him in." And so the psychiatrist or some kind of child analyst, whatever you want to call him, he's like, "I've seen enough," because Andy's going on about how it's Chucky, he's making me do it. So the guy, he's like, "I've seen enough. We're going to take him in for a few days." So they take the son in. The mom is now like insistent that her son didn't do this. And if he's saying it's the doll, then, maybe it is. Even though it is far-fetched to believe that. It's like, "Ma'am, I know you love your son. You're trying to protect him. But your son might be really disturbed. It might need real help because there's death happening all around him." So she goes home. She takes the doll home, and she's like trying to make him talk. She's like, "Talk, damn it, talk to me." And then she's like, "Okay, I'm tripping." But then she decides to check the back of the doll because she's like, "I don't remember really putting any batteries in here. And maybe the batteries are already in there." So she opens up the back, and there's no batteries. And so when she does that, all of a sudden the head turns around to face her because she's looking at his back. So the doll's head turns to face her, and he's like cursing her out, talking about doing a play and going off and going crazy. And then he tries to act like he's not alive again. And she's like, and he rolls under the couch and she finds him under there. And then he tries to act like he wasn't alive, but he did turn his head and say something to her. So she was like, okay, talk to me. Talk now. And didn't say nothing. So she was like, okay, I'm going to make you talk. And she was about to burn him in the fireplace. Truthfully, I would have burnt that doll a long time ago. I would have burned him. I would have chopped him up. I would not have been playing with that doll. Because I don't believe my child. Because that's just how I am. Maybe I watch too many scary movies. But if my child comes to me and says, Mom, the doll you just bought me is talking to me, is saying all this crazy stuff, especially the stuff that the doll was saying and that the son was repeating, it's like, my son doesn't talk like this. I don't even talk like this. Where is he getting this kind of conversation from? I would believe it never happened until the doll got there. That's all I'm saying. So when she said that she was going to burn him, he woke up and started trying to attack her. He bit her arm. He was losing it. So I'll do another lobster tail. So he was losing it. And the mom got bit, and then the doll ran away, escaped. So she went to the police officer, the same police officer that was trying to kill that man in the beginning, and the one that is over this case with her friend. So she goes to him and she tells him, what went down. That right there. And she tells him what went down. And he's like, ma'am, you're crazy. She's like, well, it doesn't seem like it's not a coincidence. She said, you're probably next. Because the doll killed the man who was his partner who left him, and you are the next one on his list. And he was like, he got like offended. Like, ma'am, that's not true. I have sense. I'm not going to let my mind go crazy like you have, basically. And so she was upset, and she was like, well, I'm going to go get answers. She's like, if you're not going to help me, I'm going to go and get my answers that I need. And so she leaves to go find the man who sold her the doll. And he's in the alley somewhere. And so she finds him, and she's like, where'd you get the doll? And he was like, from some burnt down toy store. No. He says, well, how much you got? And she was like, I got a few dollars. I don't have a lot. And she gave him some money. And he was like, that ain't enough. And she was like, well, that's all I have. He's like, no, you got a lot more. You got a lot more. And he was basically talking about her. Chang. Okay. He tried to rape her. And thank God the police officer followed her there. And he attacked him. And that's when the man said where he got the doll from. He got it from the same toy store that blew up, basically. This looks so good. I don't know if you guys can see that, but oh my God. So she's like, this is evidence that everything is coming together. All these situations, and he's like, there's nothing there. The toy store is gone. It blew up. There's nothing there but rubble. And she's like, how do you know all this information? He's like, because I'm the cop that was on that case. I'm the one who killed what's his name? Charles Lee Ray. I killed him. And she was like, Well, don't you realize that he's probably going to come to kill you? Don't you think that's a possibility? And he's like, no, he's dead. So he leaves her to go. She's headed to Charles Lee Ray's house to get some information to put together what's going on. So he leaves her on the street because he's like, you're crazy, lady, get out my car. She wanted him to go with her, but he wasn't going to do that. So he leaves her on the street and goes back to him. He goes back to his police office and he gets the file on Charles Lee Ray. And he goes back to his car to head home. When he gets in his car, Chucky is trying to choke him out with some kind of cord from behind while he's driving. Chucky is trying to take him out. I'm like, how is this doll? I mean, I know he's really the man inside the doll, but still, like, the dolls should have limited strength ability. I mean, it's a doll. I'm like, how is this doll got like superhuman strength? Oh my god. I really don't even know how you handle that situation, but he was fighting for his life. The doll was trying to stab him through the back of the chair of the car, trying to stab him underneath the chair, pushing the acceleration. He was losing his mind. Finally, the car flipped over, and the lobster tails are good. My first time making lobster tails, and I have to say, it came out pretty perfect. So I think I know how to make a lobster tail now. I will make more. So basically, the car flips over. The doll now is like running all around the car, laughing about you can't hurt me. And he gets shot. The doll finally gets shot and runs away. So fast forward, it goes to the mom. She's at Charlie Ray's house, and on the walls, like all this voodoo writings and stuff on the wall. And he shows up there, the detective, the cop. And he's like, he tells her what happened basically to him. And she's like, well, he said, I found out that Charlie Ray's nickname was Chucky. And the main man he hung out with a lot was this black man who was like a voodoo guy. And he happened to be painted on the wall of Charlie Ray's house. Ooh, okay. That was good. I'm not a big burper. I can burp, but I'm not one of those people that can just burp at will. Some people can just do it. Like my sister, she can burp whatever she wants. Okay, she don't even have to drink nothing. It happens. When she wants it to happen, it'll happen. I'm not that way. I don't even know how that's possible. I try and I end up giving myself some kind of indigestion, so I don't even do that no more. Just when it comes, I try to help it come. But anyway, I'll have another potato. Anyway, so they try to show up at the voodoo guy's house. Chucky gets there and he's like basically saying, what's happening to me? You know, I didn't believe your voodoo stuff, but now I see it's real. And he's like, I thought I couldn't get hurt, but I got shot and it hurts and I'm bleeding. And he's like, well, you're becoming human. The longer you stay in that doll, the more human you'll become. And so he's like, well, how do I get out of this? He's like, well, there is no way. He said, you corrupted what I taught you and you become an abomination. He said, so I'm not helping you. He's about to call the police on him. And Chucky has his voodoo doll. I guess the black man, the voodoo man, he showed Chucky when he was a human. He showed him where his doll was, his little voodoo doll that controlled him. I'm like, why would you, if you're going to be into that kind of stuff, which I don't agree with, but why would you show this man who's clearly a criminal where your personal voodoo doll is? Like, why would you do that? That's just to me weird, but he did. Even Chucky was like, you shouldn't show people stuff like this. It can be dangerous, which is true. Like, I didn't get why he did that, but he did. So, Chucky basically was breaking his legs, breaking his arms. Like, tell me what I need to do to get back to normal. He said, you have to put your soul in whoever you expose yourself to first, whoever you let know who you really was. So he was like, I guess I gotta go back to this child, Andy. And he was like, yeah, that'll be it. And so he killed the man anyway, and he leaves. The police officer and the mother run in before the man ends up dying. And the man is like, you need to help and get to your son, save his soul before that man gets to him, because he has some ill intentions, okay? Ill intentions. At this point, though, the mom and the cop, they're already on it, because that man don't have to convince them of anything. They believe. Okay, they've seen Chucky. They've seen what he's been doing. They don't need no convincing. We have a sausage. Sausage. Oh, it's good. It's just spicy. I like spice, but this is real spicy. So they are trying to head back to where the child is at. The child is in this little, like, confinement room. And he looks out the window and he sees the Chucky doll crawling up the steps trying to get into the building. And he's like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's coming for me. The doctor who took him and said, we'll take him in for evaluation, he comes to the door and the little boy is trying to tell him. Andy's like telling him, hey, this doll is coming up here. He's going to kill me. The man's like, oh, okay. He runs away. So Chucky gets into the building. He gets the keys. And he's ready to basically, I might do another lobster. Well, maybe we'll do this one. I'm getting full, you guys. So he gets the keys, Chucky, the doll, and he opens up Andy's room. Andy is a smart little boy. He hides under the bed, and when Chucky goes into his room to try to kill him, he realizes that the thing in the bed is not the boy, it's a pillow. But Andy quickly runs out and escapes out of the room and grabs the keys on top of that, and runs down the hallway trying to escape. So finally, this is juicy. It's a juicy lobster right there. It's just juicy. It is juicy. I'm just saying. Okay, back to the movie. Okay, so the doctor finds Andy in this room, and the doctor is trying to give him some kind of, sedation to calm him down, because he thinks the boy is losing it, basically. Oh my God, let's see if you can see that. The juices. It's juicy. Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, this seafood is rich. so rich that eating so much of it, it's like, I don't even know how you do, because I love seafood. It's my favorite, but I've never made it like this at home. I'll just say that. So anyway, the doctor's trying to give him a sedative or a sedative, something I think that's what it's called, and the boy is still trying to tell him, "No, Chucky's here. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill you too. He's gonna kill you too." So doctor ain't listen to him. He's like, "Calm down." And then Chucky, he grabs a scalpel and he cuts the doctor's leg. The doctor falls to the ground. Then he puts this electric shock therapy hat on him, and he electrocutes, fries that doctor until he's just. He was white. He turned almost black. Eyes was red, bleeding, and I mean black like coal. Okay, eyes red like blood coming out, blood all of his orifices on his face, basically. The doctor's probably dead. Boy runs out and gets out of there, and he runs home. So the police officer and the mom, they arrive at the mental institution looking for Andy, and they're like, well, he left after. They think that the little boy attacked the full grown man doctor and then escaped. So, mm, wow, it's good. So the detective's like, well, where would your son go? Where would he go since he left here? He said he'll go home. I always tell my son to go home. If ever there's a problem, if you're scared, anything, go home. He said, well, does he have a key? He's like, there's his key under the mat. And so they rush to the house. Get this out of here. I'm getting full, guys. So they rush to the house, and Chucky's already at the house trying to attack the son. Okay, Chucky knocks out the son with the bat and is in the midst of trying to do his little ritual, saying his little demonic chant, basically. And so, right in the midst of him doing that, they bust open the door and get Andy, and they're trying to help him and save him. And Chucky now is like, he ain't got nothing to lose. He's letting himself be totally exposed. He's trying to fight the detective. He ends up cutting the detective on the leg and then knocking him out really bad. So the detective's out. And so it's just up to the mom and Andy to take this thing down. The mom is fighting him. They go into the room. They throw him in the fireplace. Andy gets the matches because the mom's like, help me, Andy, help me. Andy gets the matches, and Chucky had the nerve to say, when Andy lit the match, Chucky had the nerve to say, I'll be your friend to the end, Andy. And Andy said, this is the end, friend. I love that part. Because I was like, yes, this is the end of our friendship. This has been a bad friendship. You are crazy. And goodbye. Drop the match. Okay? And that's exactly what Andy did. I was like, oh, such a wise child. So he drops the match in there. He's lit on fire. He's screaming. Then he breaks out the fireplace and running all over the place, screaming, burning up. And so, he's fried as a crisp on the floor. So they go to check on the cop in the room who's knocked out and hurt. And, this is so good. Oh my God. This is really good. save a tail or two for my husband. I went full anyway. I don't think I could even eat more. But so they're checking on the detective, and mom's like, "Go get the first aid kit under the kitchen cabinet and come right back." And so Andy goes to get it, and when he goes in there, he notices that Chucky's gone, and he's like, "Mom, I think Chucky's gone." And so he tries to run back to his mom's room, and Chucky trips him and is walking to him all burnt up with a knife, trying to kill the little boy. And so the mom grabs her son. They go in the room. She locks the door. Then Chucky tries to come through the bathroom door, because I guess it's one of those bathrooms that connects to the master bedroom, but it also connects to the hallway. So he tries to do that. Mom is holding all the doors down, trying to, keep it together. And so after that, Chucky comes in, and the mom gets a gun, and she just starts shooting the heck out of this doll. She's just shooting him up. I don't know how many bullets she put in him, but it was a nice amount. And the doll finally went down. So after that, they're trying to tend to the cop, and the cop's partner, he comes in to the house, and he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, he's been attacked." So I was thinking, I don't know if you should tell me it was a doll, but his partner, the cop, the detective, who's been attacked, he says it is a doll. He said they told the truth. That's what it was this whole time. It's been that crazy doll. Ooh, that feels good. And so the cop, he said, "Don't look in the hallway if you don't believe me. You'll see him shattered to bits and burnt up and everything." And the cop was like, "I don't believe it." He said, "Well, don't touch the doll when you go in there." So his partner goes in the hallway. He sees the pieces of Chucky, and he touches the head. He's like, "Oh, this head ain't real. This ain't nothing happening." So he picks up the head and brings it into the room where the mom and Andy and the injured cop is at. The partner brings it in the room. He's like, "Is this what you're afraid of?" "It's nothing." And they were all looking at him like, "You're crazy." And right when he was talking crap and playing with the head, Chucky breaks through the window and starts choking this man out. And the head is talking to the body, saying, the head is telling the body, kill him, don't let go, rip his throat out. Just he's losing it. So finally, the mom gets up, helps the partner, and rips the doll off of him, throw him to the ground. And the cop who's injured, he has his gun out, and she says, "Shoot him in the heart," because that's what the voodoo guy said to do. He told him, "Shoot him in the heart if you want to get rid of this thing." So she was like, "Shoot him in the heart, do it." And so he shot him in the heart, and that was it. He was done. And at that point, the detective cop asked his partner, he said, "You believe me now?" He said, "Yes, I do." He said, "But who's going to believe me?" And I think that's just one of those cases. Don't tell nobody. You got certain situations like that. You just got to just keep to yourself, take to the grave, because no one's going to believe you. They're just not. I mean, it'd be nice if they did, but it's just such a far-fetched story. Unless you're talking to people who believe that kind of stuff, which a lot of folks today don't. But there are some that do. Unless you're talking to someone like that who truly believes that kind of stuff can go down, like someone like me, I will believe you. I will believe you. I'm not gonna waste my time trying to act like that's not possible. It's not logical. Of course, I know all of that, but it don't mean it did not happen. It couldn't go down. So basically, after the partner says that, everybody in the room is thinking, yeah, I don't know who's going to believe us, but we all know it happened. And so they get up. The mom helps the injured cop up, and they're walking out. And the little boy is just, Andy, he's walking out too, but real slow and looking at the doll and just probably in just shock, amazement that this happened to him. And the mom comes back in and says, come on, Andy, we're going to go with the police officer to the hospital. And she holds his hand and walks out the room, and he's looking back at the doll as he walks out the doorway. And that's the end of the film. And as we all know, Chucky clearly was not dead, or there was some other way that he got to come back. I thought it was over for him. But clearly, as we all know today, Chucky has returned, I think, another 3 or 4 times. So, but that is the first and the original Chucky. I hadn't seen that movie in a long time, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't too long. It got right to the action. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I would give that movie, for the type of movie that it is, it's not a very deep, in-depth type movie. So I would give it, scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7. It was entertaining. It was fun. And that's what you want with a film. So other than that, you guys, let me eat this last little piece of lobster, because I know somebody's going to be looking at it like, why is she eating that last little piece of lobster tail? Oh my God. And I would be the same way on the other side of the screen, so I understand. But I'm very full, you guys. Very full. I'm going to save this butter sauce for my husband, and then after that, I'm going to save it for my next boil. Yeah, it was a good movie. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys ate some food with me while I was eating some food. Tomorrow will be another movie. I always want to be able to tell you the movie that I'm going to watch the day before so that you guys can watch it. But since I can't think of it right now, it'll be left in the video when I do my editing. It'll be in the video. So you'll be able to watch it. You'll be able to know today, watching this video, what is going to be reviewed tomorrow. Yeah, that's about it. So let's finish this off pretty and cute, like we would do if we was at a restaurant. All right, just a little, glossy gloss on. Even though all that butter sauce probably got my lips glossy already. I don't know if this is a meal for a first date. I mean, it can be if you're confident in yourself, and you ain't got a man that is judging you, or a person across the way from you judging you like crazy because you want to get down and eat some good food. Okay, well, that's it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me eat this seafood boil of lobster tails and all that other goodness. This butter sauce was amazing, rich, flavorful. I don't get how people do it all the time, but I do see why it is desired to do all the time. Other than that, have a good one. Stay blessed, stay safe. And until next time, you guys, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.